I have a guest, Peter McGuire from Exim Australia, joining us now to talk about energy as a sector, because we have seen so many reports and data come in, which is keeping the prices quite choppy. Peter, hi, welcome to the show. I first of all want your reaction on the Saudi Aramco saying that they will cut their October official selling price to Asia by nearly $1. There is weak demand, there is rising COVID cases. How do you read this statement and its impact on crude?
Well, it doesn't surprise me in a lot of ways, Manisha. I think there's a lot of hurt out there, and also at this sort of point as far as inflation and the concerns across Asia. So, yes, Saudi's stepped up to the plate, dropping that a little bit. I don't think it's going to have a structural significance to price in the short to medium term. I think the real handbrake is going to be these inflationary numbers that we're experiencing, certainly what we saw 10-year highs across Europe the other day, and again across Asia and the US. So those inflation concerns, I think, are going to be the real issue going forward, and certainly leading up to the end of the year.
Would you say that there are further declines then coming in for the crude oil prices because of all these concerns?
I would think so. I think unless you see something dramatic happen on a geopolitical front as far as Iran or Israel in the next couple of months, then and we didn't really see any premium build in with Afghanistan. So if we have clear sailing on a geopolitical front till the end of the year, then, and I can't see, maybe we have some more weather outages building on Ida. We're still, very early in the season. You can certainly get something happen by the end of, during September and leading in October to the Gulf region. That's the Gulf of Mexico, that is. So let's just see what happens there. I think a little bit further softness as far as US dollar. And I think you're going to see, a push down as far as price. I think we're nearly at the top. Maybe $1 or $2, maybe more, but I think it's exhausted, Manisha. It's really bounced back strongly, and I think it's just about running out of steam in a lot of ways.
It is. Peter, even as we are talking about weakness in crude prices, it is the crude products which seem to be doing well. So whether it's gasoline or natural gas, which is trading at a 2018 highs, natural gas, essentially, how do you see that? I mean, we've seen prices continue to gain on a month-on-month basis here.
Well, exactly right, Manisha. They've had big push-ups, and I think that will possibly just continue for the short term. And also you've got to take into consideration the use of it as far as, powering all forms of air conditioning. You've had hot summers and so on, and all of those issues. So let's just wait and see how, October we should see a little bit of a pullback. I wouldn't be surprised. So later this month and certainly into October, there's going to be the storyline there. So, softer and a pullback as far from the record territory that they're seeing at the moment.
Much of the impact, as you mentioned, is coming from the dollar index. I mean, are you looking at prices falling below 92?
Well, 92.2, Manisha. Yeah, I think so. I think you possibly, be in the 91s. I wouldn't be surprised by, later this week or early next week, a little bit further softness. Those big currencies have had big push-ups as far as like Aussie dollar, euro, yen, and pound, Kiwi, of course, and the Canadian dollar. So they've had a nice uptick, and I think there's further uptick yet. What struck me last week was those Michigan numbers, Manisha, that consumer sentiment index, and we haven't seen those sort of figures really for the best part of 10 years. And from a monthly side, since 1978, there's only been 6 other months over that window of 43 years that have seen pullbacks like we saw. So that structural weakness as far as Michigan, and then rolling across that, Manisha, was that NFP number came out, which was very underwhelming on Friday. So let's not kid ourselves that the US is booming. It's got some sense of the market is booming, but there's also a lot of hurt out there with COVID.
All right. Thank you, Peter, for joining us. Back to you guys.